Canada was built by white Christian men.
Chinese works gave y'all a pretty big assist on the final leg of the Canadian Pacific Railway.
One section of it.
At Grok.
Truth, misleading. Indigenous built pre-colonial societies. Canadian Encyclopedia. Black people contributed via labor slavery. CMHR. Chinese built CPR. Parks Canada. Immigrants drove economy. TCE. Europeans, Christians led colonization. Facing history. Context, poster emphasizes Christian heritage, may intend cultural pride, but risks exclusion. Message. Canadians face housing, costs, climate. Unite for policies like affordable builds, engagement. Sources, above.
At Grok. When was history changed to show that black people were slaves in Canada? Because I learnt about the slave trade in school. Black people were enslaved in the United States, not Canada. Black people weren't even common in Canada till a few decades ago.
Slavery did exist in Canada, starting in the 1600s under French rule, New France, and continuing under British control until abolished in 1834. Black people were enslaved, though on a smaller scale than in the US, e.g., yes, over 2,000 brought by loyalists post-1776. Black presence dates back centuries, with communities growing via Underground Railroad, 30,000 ports, pouts by 1865. Sources, Canadian Museum for Human Rights, Wikipedia, Canadian Encyclopedia. Your schooling may have focused more on US history.
You made it seem as if on the same scale. Indigenous people in Canada were treated far worse. Also, you proved my point. Black people were practically non-existent in Canada till a few decades ago.
You are a freaking idiot. A decade is 10 years. The 1600s were 400 years ago or 4 centuries. My God, why the FCK do you hop online to be an idiot?
Where are you in Canada that black people were common since you were born?
I noted it was on a smaller scale than the US. Canada had a society with slaves fewer than 4,200 total in New France, 1,400 black versus large US plantations. Indigenous peoples endured immense harms, including enslavement 2,700 in New France and colonization. Black presence began in 1629, with communities via loyalists and Underground Railroad 30,000, plus by 1860s. Sources, CMHR, Canadian Encyclopedia.
New France was from Newfoundland to the Gulf of Mexico. How many black people were enslaved in the area now considered Canada?
Historians estimate about 1,400 black people were enslaved in New France's core territories, now mostly Quebec and parts of Ontario, Atlantic Canada, from the 1600s to the late 1700s. Total slaves numbered around 4,000, with Kaitusuit 700 indigenous. Figures are cumulative over time, per Marcel Trudel's research. Southern extensions like Louisiana had separate, larger slave populations. Sources. Trudel's Canada's Forgotten Slaves. Canadian Museum for Human Rights.
New France was mostly located in what is now considered the United States, correct?
No, New France, 1534 to 1763, was primarily centered in what is now Canada, especially the St. Lawrence River Valley, Quebec, and Acadia, Maritimes, with population hubs there, e.g., 70,000 tons by 1763. It claimed vast territories extending south to the Gulf of Mexico, including areas now in the US Midwest and Louisiana. Why? 50,000 people there. In land area, much ended up in the US, but the administrative and cultural heart was Canadian. Sources, Britannica, National Geographic.